Okay, welcome to Workshop 2 from the TLC formula. Today we'll be looking at production, all aspects of production, including pre-production, the production itself, and post-production. Okay, now today's agenda, we're going to look at the types of video to use for your campaign, the essential video equipment that you need, also video production 101, where I'll share with you some great tips for creating effective videos. So a lot to cover today, so turn off all distractions and let's get straight into it. Now, the different types of videos for your video marketing campaigns. We're going to talk about welcome videos to your website. I've got a little example there of my website where above the fold is the video, and it's certainly the first thing I want people to look at when they first visit my website. It gives them all the information about video marketing, and there's a call to action there for them to sign up to a newsletter right here, so right under the video. So it's quite clear, it's very strong, and it works very, very well. So it's a good welcoming video, gets people familiar with myself, my personal brand, far more effective than just having an image with a bit of text. In fact, I use videos, I think, for every page on my website. So very important to get your welcome video. Needs to be probably, 30 seconds to maybe 2 or 3 minutes, just depending on your niche. But keep it short and sweet, straight to the point, and very welcoming, as a welcome video should be. The other videos we're going to look at is a content video. This is your rich added value videos that really target your audience. It looks at the problems they have and gives them a solution. So it's the information they're searching for online. You want to be able to satisfy their needs through the content video. Another type of video is the CTA, or call to action videos, or sales videos. And they're very similar because the main aim of these videos are to convert the audience to do something you need them to do. So we'll have a good look at those, how they're constructed to help you to increase the conversion rate. We'll be also looking in greater detail the brand storytelling video. These are not used very often by smaller businesses, but extremely effective if you want to really connect with your audience. And we'll go through that and how to create a good storytelling video that is really going to separate you from your competitors, because they're just not going to do this. And as I said, really connects with your audience very strongly. Testimonial videos are absolutely must. Any happy customers you have, say thank you very much for your comments, but how about shooting me a video over? Just use your smartphone. Tell me what you enjoyed about my product or service, and send it to me, and I'll appreciate it greatly. We're also going to look in greater detail the user-generated video. This is, again, very rarely used by small businesses or entrepreneurs, and extremely powerful. And this will really leave a huge gap between you and your competitors if you use this wisely. So we're going to look into user-generated video. Okay, let's start off with your content video. So this is a video that you're going to use for your cold audiences. This is for people who don't know too much about you. You're targeting them with topics that they're interested in, and you're really trying to build that your niche authority, and just trying to answer the problems that they have. So a really quick structure of how a content video will look like. You've got the opening, which is probably the most important part of the video, because if they don't watch beyond the opening 5 to 20 seconds, then it doesn't matter how good your video is for the remainder. They're just not going to watch the rest if you don't really grab them those first 5 seconds. 5 seconds in particular if you're using paid traffic, so you only got 5 seconds before they can skip your ad. But generally, you really need to get your message right across there very quickly, grab their attention, so they will watch the rest of your video. Now, once you grab their attention, it's sometimes a good opportunity to use a bit of branding, and that's where I tend to use my animated logo intro. But please, no more than 4 or 5 seconds. All right, you don't want a long intro beyond that, because you know what's going to happen. They're going to click away and watch something else. So keep your branding very short and sweet, but it's just a reminder of your content. And just when they're looking for solutions or looking for more videos, they're more likely to remember your particular brand. The body of the video could go for anywhere from 2 to 4 minutes or even 20 minutes, but obviously this is the main part of the video where you give all your content. Of course, you must have a conclusion. Just give it a wrap up of what they've seen or heard. Around maybe 30 to 45 seconds, depending on how many points you covered in your video. But it's a good wrap up just to remind them what you went over with. And then, of course, the call to action. Leave it to about 10, 15 seconds, a very important part, particularly with our content videos, because we want to drive traffic back to our website. So we want to make sure we have a very strong call to action there. And if you like, you can always use an end card. Now, an end card appears at the end of the video, obviously, and you want to point them to other videos you have. So it might be related videos that you've created. You want them to watch more of your content. Okay, so if the more content they watch, the more familiar they become with yourself and your brand, and that obviously builds the know, like, and trust. Okay, now the first thing we've got to do is start with your objective. Okay, forget everything else. We start with the objective of a video. Now, you may think of a great topic for a video. Put that aside for now. We start with the objective. So some of the objectives may be brand awareness. Okay, you want to increase your audience. You want to launch a new product that you've got coming up. Your objective may be to drive traffic to your website, which is the one we tend to use with cold traffic. And your objective may be to grow your email list. Now, one of the most important points I want to make it very clear right now is that one objective only. Okay, just one objective. One objective will take you in one direction. You cannot have 4 or 5 objectives for a video. Now, when I say that, if your objective is to drive traffic to your website, well, obviously you are going to increase your brand awareness. You're going to increase, you may increase your email list as well. You may achieve other things, but your one objective should be totally focused on to drive traffic to your website, if that's your objective. So just focus on one objective. Other things will happen as well, naturally, but focus one area. If you try and focus on 2 or 3 different objectives, then what will happen? You'll go nowhere. Now, once you have your objective, then you define your target audience. So who will help you to achieve your objective? For example, if your objective is brand awareness, then your target audience must be cold traffic. Okay, you're not going to go to your existing customers. If your objective is to launch a product or sell a product, you don't want to go to cold traffic. You want to go to your existing customers or your hot leads. So your audience depends purely on your objective. You need to specify your audience persona. Some people call it avatar, buyer persona, whatever you want to call it. You must be very specific who that person is. And as I said before, really describe, their gender, their age, their job, whatever, and download an image of the person who you think looks like your target audience. Put that person on your desk, and when you're writing a script or organizing the strategy for your video, target that one person. Just think of that one person, and that will help you to really identify your target audience and really connect with your target audience. Look at their needs and wants. You need to really know that, their pain points, what's keeping them up late at nights, what are they searching for online. Okay, you've got to really do your research. Where will you find them? Where do they hang out on the internet? Okay, you have to really know them. The more you know them, the more chances you have of connecting with them, right? Now, how will your product or service help them to solve their problem? You've got to be absolutely crystal clear about this, because if you're not clear about it, then they won't be clear about it. So we start with keyword research. Now, find the keywords that show YouTube video results on the first page of Google. Now, this is for organic traffic, but it's also true if you're using paid traffic. It's always good to use good SEO and have your video rank as high as possible on Google. If you rank on the first page of Google for your keywords, you'll generate a lot of free traffic, which can complement your paid traffic. So by that, look for the keywords that Google like to promote on their page. So if someone is searching how-to or reviews or tutorials, Google is going to be thinking, well, this person probably wants to watch a video. Okay, so it's going to give preferences to these videos, video keywords, so that your YouTube video will be found on Google. So use these sort of terms for your headings: how-to, reviews, tutorials, anything that suggests that that your target audience want visual content. Okay, so that's very important, and Google will help promote your video. Now, for example, now you might type in, so for instance, if I own a swimming pool business, I'm just going to use Google and just type in swimming pools, and when I do, there's some suggested keywords that come up. These are keywords that people are actually using. So you see there, above ground swimming pools. Now below all the search results, there are these searches that are related to your topic, and again you see above ground swimming pool care. So I'm seeing these sort of results here in Google, and so I want to just check them out and see what happens. So I'll go to Google and I'll type in how to keep your above ground swimming pool clean, and this is what happens. A video appears on the first page of Google. Now this is an old video made quite a few years ago, and I can watch that video, and can I improve on that video? Can I make a better video? Has things changed over the last few years, and now that video is outdated and I can put something that's newer, fresher ideas, so I can get on that first page of Google. When people search for this topic, they'll find me, and I'll gain a lot of free organic traffic. Now, once I get an idea of what I want, I can also try using that topic on YouTube and search results and see what happens there. So I type it in there, and here's the results. I get, I see 67,000 results there, and I can have a look at all the type of videos that are related to the topic I want to do. I can watch all those videos and maybe find a different angle or do things better than those videos that are there already. There's no point copying the video, because that's not going to help you. You need to do things different. And if you can make a better topic or better video, or update the video, or come in with a different angle, your own angle. Okay, so just look at those videos and see how you can do something a little bit different and better. Now, we're going to also then go and use the Google Keyword Planner, and we just want to find out how many searches are there each month. So if you haven't got a Google AdWords account, you can join up. It's free. I think you have to give your credit card details, but it's absolutely free. And when you get to the Keyword Planner, you just type in the keyword that you want to use for your video topic: how to keep your above ground swimming pool clean. And all you do is then click on Get Ideas, and you're going to get something like this. Now, what you want to look for is those keywords that you're using. And here it is: how to keep your above ground pool clean. And you're going to click on this clean above, which is the ad group ideas. So click on that, and there you go. So how to clean above ground pool is getting 320 searches on average each month. So it's certainly, looking at that page, it certainly is the best keywords to use for your video topic. And you must use exactly those words: how to clean above ground pool, because that's exactly the words that are being used for search results. This is by your potential customers. They're using these words to search for a solution online. So if you get this right, you could expect over 300 views a month, and this is really targeted views. Okay, you don't need to get 1 million views. You just need to get views from your target audience. And the good thing is also it has low competition, so this is going to be pretty easy to rank a video just by using these words as your title. Now, other sources for keywords, you can use Quora, Wikipedia, Amazon. Look what are the top ranking books in your niche. You can have a look at online forums. Facebook fan pages are great as well. Just read the comments from other people. Use Google communities and what's trending on Twitter. So just really go out there. These are all free sources to find your keywords. There's lots of paid versions as well, but these are free resources that you can use for what your audience are typing in there to look for search for solutions to their problems. Now, once you have a topic, you obviously want to start creating a quality content. So there's two things to look at. One is the technical stuff when you're making a video, such as the video camera. Make sure it's obviously focused on a subject. That sounds pretty obvious, but sometimes when you watch a video, it seems the background's more interesting than the person talking in front of the camera. That's a real no-no. That's why I tend to use a blank wall sometimes when I'm making my video, because at least I think I'm more interesting than a blank wall. Make sure there's sufficient lighting so we can actually see the person if you're talking, and not too much lighting where you just we can't see anything. Good quality sound, perhaps the most important part of any video. If you can't hear what the person is saying, you can't see them, and no one is going to watch a video where they can't understand what's going on. Okay, so quality of sound, very important. Make sure you edit your video so it's nice and tight. It doesn't go off in tangents, and there's not too many pauses. It moves along and keeps their attention. And of course, the presenter's performance, make sure it's authentic. Okay, make sure you're real. No need to put on an act there. And make sure it's energetic. All right? Have a bit more energy than you would normally have if you're having a one-to-one conversation. Just add a bit more energy to your performance. The other part you need to worry about is the content itself. Make sure that your information you're using is accurate and, above all, interesting. Make it interesting. Make sure you present it clearly and that the content really does address the main pain points of your audience. Okay, you get all this right, people will watch your video because it's going to be very, very engaging. Once you complete your video, you want to upload it to YouTube or other platforms, and make sure you optimize your video as much as possible. Use keywords for your video file name. Okay, so you use it in the title, how to clean above ground pool. Doesn't sound like it's great English, but these are the exact words people use to search. So make sure you use the same thing as well, and that will really get you right at the top there. Your description, add your website so people can go straight to your website, which is really the whole purpose of our content videos. And use the tag words. Start with very specific tag words such as above ground pool, and then you can use more general terms like clean pool or pool service. So start first few tags, make it very specific to your topic of your video, and then just make it broader tag words. You can also upload a transcript of your video up there. That will help Google to better understand what your video is all about. Okay, so get all the optimization right, help your video rank as high as possible. Also include a good thumbnail so they can just look at your thumbnail, they know exactly what your video is all about. Now, often question I get is, how long should your video be? Well, the simple answer is that it should be as short as possible or as long as it takes. Okay, so what I mean by that is make sure that you don't take more time than you need to make your video, but take as long as it takes to get your message across there. Now, whether that is 60 seconds or 60 minutes, make sure that every second is useful. You're giving them valuable content and you're making full use of your time. Focus on the content, not the length of your video. Now, shorter videos obviously are going to be more popular at certain times. People may watch a video during their lunch break, or if they're on a bus or a train, or they're watching a bit of TV. They've got a few minutes between the ad break. They're just going to watch a quick video. So certainly shorter videos are more popular. But if you're giving great content and they're interested in your content, then they will make the time to watch your content. Right? So there's no need to aim for precise timings. You don't need to have video exactly 60 seconds or 30 seconds or 1 minute or 2 minutes or whatever, because that's the old broadcast way of doing things. Just make your video as long as it needs to be. Now, for larger, more complex topics, you can use a series of videos. Now, for example, I recently did a 3-part series on video content marketing. Now, each video goes for about 5 minutes, so it would have been a 15-minute video, but there's quite clearly 3 different parts to it. So I created 3-part videos. So each one they could watch on its own and it made sense, but each video also promoted the other 2 videos. So I'm promoting them to watch more of my content, which is exactly what YouTube like. They really like you to keep people on YouTube, particularly if you can make them watch your own content. So yeah, don't, if there's naturally different parts to a video, use that idea. Offer a variety of video lengths on your channel as well. Don't have all your videos 60 seconds long or all your videos 20 minutes long. Have a really short videos if they're looking for short videos, or medium lengths, or your longer videos. Just make sure you get a variety there, because when they come up to your channel, they may only have a few seconds or a few minutes, or they may have an hour to watch videos. So make sure you have a variety there for them to watch. Now, just very quickly, the opening of the video, again, as I said, with your content video, very important that you capture your audience attention. Okay, if you don't get them at the opening, then the rest doesn't matter. It absolutely, it doesn't matter how great your content is, or your great offer at the end. If they're not watching the opening, they're not watching the rest. So it's so important just to capture their attention. So really think visually, think auditory. What can you do that's interesting visually? What can you do to make it sound interesting? And particularly on Facebook, where the videos are auto playing, make sure that things are happening visually, because they can't hear anything. You want it to be interesting. Now, the opening line may be the most important. As I said before, you want to start by qualifying your audience with their problem, their interest, their needs, or their wants. So ask them, a question. Is your problem X? Are you having a problem about whatever your topic is about? So you're qualifying your audience. If they're not having a problem, they'll click away, and that's fine. But you really want your audience to understand what your video is all about. And you need to make that clear right from the very start. For example, has your swimming pool turned green? Okay, now, if you can't relate to that, you won't be watching it. But certainly if your pool has turned green, then you know this video is for you and you'll be watching it. Now, follow up with a solution or a promise. In this video, I'll show you 3 simple steps to remove the green algae and have a sparkling clean pool ready to use. Okay, there's my promise. I qualify the audience, and then I'm giving them a promise of what this video is all about. Now, you can use this time, once you've grabbed their attention, to do a bit of branding for yourself. Now, this is where you show your little animated logo with a bit of a jingle. It's usually the best time to show a bit of branding before people start dropping off. And as I said, you've got their attention, but make sure that it's only 4 or 5 seconds. All right, don't go for longer than that, because it's just going to bore people and they'll go away. So keep it nice and short and nice and bubbly, nice graphics, bright jingle, and something that's unique to your brand. I know a lot of people sell these animated logo intros and they're all on templates. The problem about using templates is that other people will have your same jingle and same looking animated logo, which is not very good. So make sure you got something that's original. Use someone from Updesk or Fiverr, and you can get a fairly reasonable priced, but make sure it is original, so that when people will associate that with your brand only. Now, the body of the video, you probably want to use maybe 3 to 5 key points to discuss your topic. Trying to keep it around about that, maybe 7 at most. But you don't want to have like 20 key points, because if you're going to have 20 key points, make 2 videos. All right, try and keep it down to 3 to 5 essential key points. And you want to create a step-by-step process or guide. So step 1, you need to do this. Step 2, step 3, step 4. So it makes sense. There's the 3 or 4, 5 easy steps to follow. Now, you want to consider using title cards before each of the key points just to reinforce the learning or the memory. For example, I did a video called 6 Principles of Persuasion. And in between each of the principles, I had a title card with a bit of music, and it would actually have the text of what the next topic covered. I also set it as well. So it just reinforces them to remember those key points. Make sure you keep on subject without going off tangents. That's the most important thing. A lot of good videos go bad because the speaker gets off topic and it goes in nosedives. The conclusion, very important, just to summarize your key points. For example, you may say, in this video, I showed you the 3 simple steps to get rid of your green algae. Step 1 was this, step 2 was this, step 3 was that. So again, it reinforces what you went through, and it helps the viewer to remember those steps. And that's very important, because if they use those steps and it works, then they will say, well, your video was very helpful, and they'll go and seek more of your content. And very important, your call to action. Okay, relate your call to action back to your objective. We spoke about this last week, that you really need to start with your call to action. Perhaps it's your lead magnet, whatever your call to action is, and that's your whole video is then based on that. And with your content videos, you really want to drive traffic back to your website. So make sure your call to action works with your objective. Okay, so if your objective is to drive traffic to your website, you can offer your viewers a free bonus video, how to keep your pool clean, or whatever your topic is, and give them the URL to link to your website or your blog. Okay, you really want to drive more traffic, and remember, it's ungated traffic. You're not going to try and grab their email list, put them on your email list. It's just free, ungated content. Now, you should mention your free bonus at the start of your video to keep your audience until the very end. So just mention that right at the very start, and obviously give it to them at the end. Now let's look at the other style of video, which would be the main part of your campaign. It's called your CTA, or call to action, or your sales video. So these, sales video and your call to action video are very similar, because you want them to convert to what you want them to do. So let's have a look at these videos, and here's a structure which you can use for your own call to action or sales videos. First thing you need to do is to identify the problem. So what's the problem? Now you can start with a provocative question. Does your pool suffer from green algae? Give them a startling fact. Maybe it's all the diseases that they can catch from having a pool that's unhealthy. You might make a bold claim that you can clean the pool very quickly with just 3 simple steps to get rid of the problem. You might make a shocking disclosure that when you had a green pool, no one would visit your home, no one would come and visit you, and you had to clean it up before you can invite your friends over for a pool party. Whatever it is, whatever makes sense for your actual product or service. I'd say something outrageous. It's all about grabbing attention and really identifying that problem straight away. Now, you may tell that through a compelling story. Okay, just find a way of getting clear about what the problem is, and so they can quickly identify what your video is all about. Now, here's an example of opening for my video. I've actually put on it text: "Are you struggling to find a consistent source of new business leads?" Now, I say this verbally, but as I say it, this text comes up on the screen, word for word. It's like, the sing-along where you sing along with the words coming up on the screen. So causes movement, causes action. And this is really good for Facebook, where you can't hear what the person's saying, but you see this text that's coming up on the screen, so you can read it and understand what the video is all about, so you can click to watch the video. So it's a really good tactic to gain attention with moving text and let people know exactly what it's about. And if it's something that they do struggle with, then they will watch your video. Okay, once you've got them watching a video, you really need to highlight the problem in detail. This is called stirring the pot, if you like, a little bit. You want to apply pressure to the problems. You want to get right into the problem, tell them really how bad that problem is and how does it really affect their life. Okay, by having this problem, by having a dirty pool, it means that their kids can't play in the pool. You can't invite friends over for a barbecue and for a bit of a swim. It's just a mess for their life. Use the key words, in their own language to describe their pain points. It's so difficult to keep the pool clean. It takes so many hours, costs so much money using different chemicals. You go through all those problems that you found in your keywords and use the language that they use. And of course, you can't leave them with a problem. You've got to give them a solution. And you want to just release the pressure, the anxiety they feel, and just reverse the problem. Now, just imagine if you had a clean pool, what would that mean to you and your family? Okay, put in the future. This is what your life will be once you solve your problem. So it's a simple expression of the availability of the desired outcome. So what you can do is offer them a solution now, and you've described what that solution is and how their life will improve in the future. Now, the next part of the sales or the call to action video is your credentials. Why should they listen to you? What do you have? What is your history? What's your experience to tell us that you can really solve the problem? And that's what you need to get to. Just really show them, tell them all about what you can do, where you've been, how you've worked it out, how you've solved the problem with other people. What differentiates your product or service from your competitors? Because obviously they can go to other people for solutions. So why should they use your solution? How is your solution better? Is your solution quicker? Is your solution better? Is your solution more efficient? Is it cheaper? Do you add extra value? So make sure you clearly show how you differ from your competitors. You can show results that you've already produced with other people. Okay, this is where you want to use your testimonials, what other people say about you, right? This is really building your credentials. Okay, clearly explain what your offer is, why it's great for your prospect. Okay, what makes it different from other people, right? Focus on the value it provides, right? Don't focus on features, focus on value. Remember the little example I gave last week about a drill. People don't want to buy a drill, they want to buy a hole in the wall. Okay, focus totally on the value. Benefits, not the features. And also think about objections. What objections may they have? You don't want to sweep these under the carpet. You want to answer these objectives straight away before they even think about it. So don't let them fester. Are you more expensive than your competitors? Then you need to answer that objective now. Why are you more expensive than your competitors? Why delivery costs more? Why is your product smaller than the others or bigger than the others? All right, you need to really find out what are the potential objections of your target audience and answer those before they ask you. Okay, and then you need to support your answers with facts. Okay, don't just give them an answer. Tell them exactly why your product is more expensive or faster or needs special delivery. Okay, back it up with testimonials. Okay, use testimonials as proof that your product or service will solve their problem. And very important, risk reversal. All right. You take the risk, not your customer. Okay. Give them 100% guarantee money back. So you take all the risk. Now, obviously, some people will take advantage of the risk of your money back guarantee, but you'll get more sales. People feel more confident that you're offering a money back um, guarantee. Let them try it before they buy it. A lot of people give maybe $1 memberships to try it for a month, so they can have a good look at the membership, and if they like it, they'll keep on with it, staying with it. But let them trial your product if possible, if that's appropriate. Obviously, guarantee your money back, unconditional terms. All right, as I said, just take the risk right off the customer, put it onto you. And also use urgency. All right, closing down sale, you see those everywhere you go, and you go back again the next month and they're still open for business. So make sure your urgency is real. Now you can discount for early bird purchases. This is a really good one to use. If they buy now, you're going to give them 20% off or $20 off or whatever makes sense for your business, but give them an incentive to buy it right now, because if they go away, they may forget about your offer, and they're gone forever. So try and get them to buy now by offering a really good discount or money off. You can give them bonus content if they buy now. Okay, so if you buy a membership now, I'll give you a free video or free book or free PDF, whatever it is. Just give them a bonus if they buy now. You can also offer limited VIP seats that's going to sell out. So if you've only got 10 seats available, they need to buy straight away, because once you get the 10 seats, it's all over. They won't be able to join there. You can also use when your cart closes at a certain time, but make sure if you set a time that your cart closes, make no exceptions. Okay, so if you're closing at midnight on Saturday, you've got to close at midnight on Saturday. Now, just recently, I went through one of these campaigns. I was the recipient on this occasion, and someone sent me an email 7 days before closing, and they'd say, yeah, hurry up, you've only got 7 days to go. The next day I had, quick, hurry up, you only got 6 days before the cart closes. Next day you've got only 5 days, 4 days, 3 days, etc., etc. On the last day it was, you've only got 12 hours before the cart closes. You've got 6 hours before the cart closes. You've got 1 hour before the cart closes. And thank goodness, finally the cart closed. I thought, thank goodness for that. No more emails. And guess what? The next day I received another email saying, well, I know a lot of people missed out, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to reopen my cart and for another 24 hours. Okay, so that person loses instant credibility. Right? It doesn't make sense. So if you're going to close, make sure you close, no exceptions. Now, call to action, very important, obviously, very important part. That's why the video is there, is to get them to take action. So make sure it's very simple and very clear. Just keep it as simple as possible, such as, just click this button. Okay, make sure you use pleasure and pain reminder the pleasure they will have by taking action, and also remind them the pain they will feel if they don't take action. And tell them exactly what to do. Don't assume that you've got a big button on your page that they're going to press the button. You need to tell them, right? Click on the big orange button, fill out the form below, tell them exactly what they need to do. Okay, so that summarizes the call to action, or your sales video summary. We talked about start by identifying the problem. Right at the very start, qualify your audience, highlight the problem, stir it up a little bit, then give them the solution. State your credentials, why they should actually listen to what you're saying. Present your offer, and make sure you can answer any objections they may have before they actually think about it. All right, go through all those potential problems, give your answers before that. Provide a risk reversal by guarantee in some way, and produce some real sense urgency. Discount, or the cart closes, or bonuses will finish. and most important, a call to action. Get them to take action straight away. If they don't take action straight after watching a video, it's unlikely they will take action at all. So there's a good opportunity for them to take action straight away. I also want to go briefly into the brand storytelling. This is something that a lot of small business entrepreneurs are not using, and I think they really should be using brand storytelling because it's so effective in really connecting with their audience. Now, we're going to talk a bit about the brain first on why you should be using brand stories. Now, there's three parts to a brain. One is called the reptilian part of the brain. This is the older part of the brain. It's known as a physical brain. And it looks after all the physical things such as breathing, circulation, sleeping, walking, eating. These are things that we don't really pay attention to. We don't constantly think that we have to take a breath. That happens automatically. And that's your reptilian brain looks after all those physical things that we don't have to worry about. Now, the newest part of the brain is called the neocortex. This is the language, the speech, the writing, problem-solving, analytical part of the brain. This is where we think consciously about things. We think about how to solve a problem. This is all part of the brain that we use, the neocortex. But what, as marketers or business owners, we're very interested in the limbic system. That's the brain in the middle there. This is the brain that looks after all our emotions. This is emotions, memories, social bonding, attachment. So this is part of the brain that we're very interested in connecting with, because emotions are a very important part in decision making. Now, we feel, therefore we think. Now, the unconscious mind, which is the limbic, is the domain of our emotions, right? It's the feelings of good or bad that we've assigned to things. So we make value judgments on the basis of emotions and feelings, not thinking or logic. So your brain values the feelings, not the facts. Now, sometimes we feel good about something, about a brand. Sometimes we feel good about someone, and we tend to think intellectually about it, but it comes from emotions. There's nothing logical about our feelings. Now, brands are like people. The value you assign to a brand is based largely on how the brand makes you feel. Now, there was a famous experiment they did with Coca-Cola and Pepsi. And now Coca-Cola was the most popular of the two brands by a group that they experimented with. And then they did a blind test. So people were drinking either a Pepsi or Coke and they were trying to work out what was their preferred taste. And the fact is, most people preferred the taste of Pepsi rather than Coke. And yet more people, if you asked them what they preferred without the blind test, they'd say Coca-Cola. And that's because the feelings they had about Coca-Cola, and maybe their upbringing when they were young with their families, the good times they had when they were drinking Coke, they associate those good times with Coca-Cola. So these are purely feelings, even though Pepsi may taste better. The logic is that they should be drinking Pepsi, but their feelings are with Coca-Cola, and those feelings can last a lifetime. So it's very important to reach the emotions of your target audience rather than just using logic. So it's very important to learn how to deliver your message. Now, the unconscious mind responds not only to what is said, but how that information is delivered. Okay, so yeah, sure, it's important what you say, but it's how you say it that we feel. Okay, we look at body language. Make sure your body language works with the information you're actually giving. Now, the best way to reach the unconscious part of our mind often involves embedding the message in a package that evokes emotion. So we really want to target the emotional part of the brain. So how do we do that? Well, we've got, obviously here is our brand message. We put in some sort of a package that will reach that emotional part of the brain. It's the unconscious part of the brain. And when we reach this part of the brain, it will elicit feelings. And hopefully it's feelings that are positive to our brand, which will make our brand their preference, their choice. So the question is, what sort of package do we need to reach the unconscious emotional part of the brain? Well, we use stories. or more specifically, we use brand stories. So when we can bring our brand message into our stories, these stories will reach the emotional part of our brains. It will elicit the feelings, and it will make them feel something about our brand. Now, hopefully it's a good feeling, and it's a positive feeling about our brand. We can't say, please love our brand. We need to reach the unconscious part of the brain. We do that with the use of stories. That's why brand stories are so important. So our decision making is motivated largely by our emotions and our ability to trust. Okay, so that's what brand stories will do. Now there's the old adage, facts tell, but stories sell. Okay, that's because stories appeal to our emotional brain, where the vast majority of the decision making is done. So successful brands, and you've got a brand yourself. You don't want to focus on what to do or how to do it. Those are byproducts of why you do it. So tell stories about why you do things. Really connect with the audience that way. So I ask you now, what is your brand story? Now, you may think you don't have a brand story, but let me say this. As Michelangelo said, every block of stone has a statue inside it, and it is the task of the sculptor to discover it. So I really want you to start thinking about your brand story. It's there already. You just need to chisel away and find inside there what is your own brand story. And with brand story, your brand is now the hero. Now, I always talk about your benefits of your products. This is where you get to talk about yourself. You are the hero of your story. So give a bit of history about your business. Tell us what's the purpose of the business. I mean, the why you do what you do. Why did you set up your business? What are you trying to do with your business? Who are you trying to help? What are the core values of your brand? Now, people will associate with your core values. If they agree with your core values, they will feel a very strong attachment to your brand. Who are the people that work there? Okay, so if you have people that work there, highlight those people, highlight your business. Your business is your brand, and your brand is the hero of your story. How do you support your community? Very important. It's all about community and how you fit in your community and help with your community. Now, obviously, your brand stories, the most important part is authenticity. Honesty and transparency are vital in brand storytelling. Okay, really cut down to what you are. This is not a sales pitch. It's about who you are. Now, some people may not like who you are, and that's fine. They'll move on and find someone else. But those that connect with you will connect with you very strongly, and they'll become very loyal customers. So stories need to be rooted in the reality of your brand. All right, really come up with stories that are all about your brand. Don't make things up. Just really find the story. Those stories are there. Trust me. Consistency, persistency, and restraint, so important. Okay, just make sure your story is consistent. Don't go over the top with it, and just persevere with your story. Confusion is the number one brand killer. So don't have one brand story showing this side of you and another brand story showing the opposite side. All right, it must be consistent. The story, like your logo, must be consistent. And when you think about it, you need to look at what is your brand personality. So the old classic the difference between the PC and the Mac, quite different personalities there. So what is your brand personality? Are you excitement? Are you carefree, spirited, youthful? Is that your brand persona? Or are you more sincerity? Are you genuine, kind, family orientated, thoughtful? Is your brand personality ruggedness? Are you rough, tough, outdoors, athletic? Does that describe your brand? Are you competent? Are you successful, accomplished, influential? Are you a leader in your niche? Okay, so really find out, are you sophistication, elegant, prestigious? Are you pretentious? Okay, so some ideas there, what type of personality you are, because that's your brand personality. And make that, and just really focus on what it is, and then that can help you to develop your stories and the whole branding. Okay, you really want to differentiate yourself from all of your competitors, and this is a great way of doing it. Okay, that covers the brand storytelling side of things. I just want to talk about user-generated video. Now, this is not often used by solopreneurs or people with a small business, but this is extremely effective for you to use. I'm going to go with a case study. It's a big case study, but it certainly can get ideas to help you with your own user-generated campaign. Now, why use UGV? Well, user-generated video has become so powerful that it's influencing buying decisions, right? It's including items that range from electronics to insurance policies. So something as mundane as insurance policies, excuse me if you're in insurance selling, but really it can be anything. It can really influence your target audience. In fact, last year, 40% of Generation Y, if that's your target audience, admitted that user-generated videos impacted their decision to purchase a car. Really? Well, that's amazing stats there. So the fact that consumers who had previously recorded a quick video review could influence the outcome of such a large purchase, which is really incredibly impressive. So really user-generated video can sell anything if you have the right campaign. And we're going to have a look at how you can create your own campaign for your business. And you can do it very effectively. So the name user generated implies a certain enthusiasm and credibility that you can't capture through professional video. So when you ask your users, your customers to send in a video, it doesn't have to be a perfect video. It can be, very ordinary video that they use through their smartphone. In fact, you don't want it too polished because you want to show that this is real. This is a real video made by a real person, and that gives it instant credibility. And you can't buy that. User-generated videos, they're real, they're raw, and they can be difficult to manipulate. Okay, so when someone watches and sees someone who's created a video about your product or service, giving a rave review, that's amazing. That's more than what you could ever do with your ads. Okay, this is far more effective. The simplicity and the sheer honesty of these videos is what sets them apart from other marketing tactics. Okay, this is highly effective and you should consider using it for your business. And it is effective because it uses social proof. This is something you cannot buy. You can buy video ads, but you can't buy social proof. So let's look at a case study. This is from Rode. Rode did this very recently. It's a big case study, but the step-by-step examples you can use for your own business. It doesn't have to be as big as this. Now about Rode, Rode's an Australian business that started in the 1990s. They focus on selling microphones to the world, and their target market's videographers and filmmakers. So I know I've got some Rode equipment myself, very good products. So it's a little business. They're doing it very, very well. They do this once a year. They offer a campaign called My Rode Reel. Basically, the steps they use is they create a how to enter instructions, make that very clear. So when you want to do a user generated video, make sure you've got a how to enter page where they sign up, what they have to do, create original material. They have to use materials that you give them, and they have to upload their videos to your YouTube channel. Okay, it's very important that they upload your videos so that you've got somewhere where people can watch the video. So make sure you have very clear instructions, 1, 2, 3, 4 instructions here, how to enter the competition. So that's your first step you want to do. Second, you want to have a platform where these videos will be, and obviously the best place would be your YouTube channel. You want them to upload there on a playlist so that there's one area where everyone can watch these videos. Okay, so that's the first step you need to do. Create a playlist where everyone can upload the video. You want to make sure you have a lot of interaction while they upload the videos. You want to have lots of comments and answer those comments and create a real community that will inspire other people to participate. When they see other people involved, That's social proof for them to also get involved and create a video for your campaign. Make sure you have some really solid terms and conditions. Now, provide full terms on your website. You don't want to have any potential problems. Just make sure everything's clear. And if there are any problems, you can say, look, point to your terms and conditions to solve the problems. Now, the higher the value of your prizes, the more detail you need for your T&C. You can use authority from people in your niche industry. Use them as judges if it makes sense. But trying to maybe collaborate with other people in your niche to make it a bigger event rather than with yourself. So find some of your competitors and say, look, hey, let's do a competition. We'll all get involved and we'll get as many people as possible, because that will help everyone. It's like the tide, when it goes up, all the ships go up as well. So don't be afraid to use competitors in this area, but if you can do it yourself, or use people in your industry niche to help build that authority. And obviously, you need to offer good incentives. Road uses a lot of their own equipment or their own content as prizes, as well as some of their partners. So in this particular competition, they use $200,000 worth of prizes. You don't have to do that. You may offer just one or two key prizes, but obviously prizes have to be relevant to what your target audience wants to have. And also give examples of what to do. This is one that Road made that people can look at it and say, okay, well, this is what they're looking for, so they can be inspired and make their own video. Just this is a bit of branding. They insisted for all entries for their user-generated videos, they had to use this at the start of their video, which gives a lot of branding. So whoever watches these videos are watching My Road Reel, and all those people who support, all those companies are supported as well. So it's like a free ad on your video. Now, the breakdown of this competition, it had a very clear start and end dates. You want to make it short. You don't want to drag it too long. You want to have a clear and simple entry details with the terms and conditions as well that's available for people to look at. You want to select your social media platform to have interaction and build a little community, which either through YouTube or Facebook will work as well. And you want to make sure you want to create authority by using some of the industry leaders or some of your competitors. The appropriate incentive in value and in relevance, and provide samples and educational videos on how they can enter your competition. And obviously, branding opportunities. Make sure that all those videos they send to you are branded, so you're there top of mind when people are watching your videos. Now, the result of this particular campaign, they received hundreds upon hundreds of participants, and they're all involved in your brand. They received hundreds of videos and thousands of viewers. And these are all promoting your brand again, and really create your niche authority. It increased lots of sales for Road products. It was hugely successful, and also increases the lifetime value of customers. Customers really feel more associated with your brand. It really does build that loyalty factor. Okay, now it's time for change of space. We're nearly there. This is the last topic we'll be looking at today. This is the Video Production 101. We're going to look at some really important tips that I think are absolutely critical for creating effective videos. Okay, so this is a change of pace here. Very important. So Video Production 101. Now the equipment, really there's only maybe 5 things that you really need, and perhaps even less than that. You obviously need something to capture your video. This is my own video camcorder. It's a Canon XA20. I've had it for about 2 years now. I love it. I've raved about it in many other reviews, and that's what I use, a professional camcorder. But use whatever video equipment you have. Even using your smartphone will give you a quality video. So make sure you produce quality video. That's your number one video equipment. I do highly recommend you use external microphone, because microphone, even for my professional camcorder there, the internal microphone is not great. The internal microphones on smartphones is not great. Okay, the quality is not very good. So make sure you hook up with an external microphone, lapel microphone that you can just hook up close to your mouth, or you can use a shotgun microphone. Make sure you use a tripod or some way to steady your camcorder or your smartphone, so it's not going all over the place. All right, you don't want a jerky image. Try and get a very steady image, and a tripod's a good way of using that. Lighting, you can use lights that you buy. You can use the sun. The sun offers free lighting, but it's not very consistent, particularly if you have a cloudy day where the sun can shine brightly and then all of a sudden it goes behind clouds, and that will really affect negatively on your video. Also, you need some sort of editing software so you can trim down all the parts that aren't necessary and you can get a really concise video. So there are 5 things that you really need for creating really effective videos. Now, professional videos use things called storyboards. When they script a video, they use images or they sketch out images of what it will look like, and what video will be, what the dialogue will be. That way you can look at that and make sure you cover everything you need to, and you know exactly how long it will be, what you need to shoot, so you don't forget to shoot things. So this is used for a lot of corporate videos. It's used for movies. It's used for commercials. But you don't need to go in that sort of depth when you're creating your own video. You can use a script like this. You can use the audio. This is the script that you're going to say. You can break it up into little chunks. You don't need an A4 page full of what you're going to say. Just script out into these little chunks and think about visually what are you going to have visually. So for example, it's going to start off with a voiceover, and the visual will be motion graphics showing several social network logos. So your audience will see this but will hear this. The next section here, section 2 or scene 2, you have someone in front of the camera introducing themselves, and this is a talking head part of the video, and you've got visually what the audience will see. Then scene 3, there's a voiceover again, and then there are visual shots. Scene 4 again, you have the person in front of the camera. So you can see there's variation between voiceovers and talking heads straight to camera. So you're producing lots of variety, and you're breaking your video into tiny chunks rather than trying to do everything in one go. This makes it a lot easier when you upload these videos to your video editing. You can just number this scene 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it makes it so much easier when you're editing your video. You go straight to scene 1, find the best shot you did, edit that, and then go scene 2, and you got these little videos to edit. You edit these little videos rather than one big long video and trying to find out what part you're going to use. It just makes video editing so much easier. Now, when you shooting a video, one of the things that's very important, obviously, you have some sort of a tripod. This tripod only seems to have 2 legs, but tripods will have 3 legs. And make sure that the lens is the same height as your eyes. Okay, you want to look straight into the lens of your video camera. Now, if you're looking down the lens of a camera, you are looking down on your audience. Now, they may be effective if you want to create authority, but if you want to create rapport with the audience, it's not very good to look down on your audience, nor is it for your audience to look down on you. So if you're looking up at your lens, that's not going to work either. You want to go on a level, even base there. Look straight to the camera of your lens. So your lens height should be your eye level as well. So it's a very important tip right there. Now, also in photography, we learn about the rule of thirds, where everything should be on these lines here, either cross or vertically. And these are your key points where these intersect. So you certainly want the face or the eyes all on this level here, this line here, and where it intersects, because that's where the main attention is. So rather than having a person sort of in the middle of the video, you have them on these lines here. Okay, it's all aligned. All right, so look for the rule of thirds. It creates more interesting images. Okay, when you're a talking head, you can go from here to there to the middle. You can move around a little bit so that you're using these rule of thirds. It makes it far more interesting to watch. I also mentioned that the importance of using external microphones. This is a Rode microphone. This is a shotgun microphone you can use, which could be attached to your video camera, and that can give you a much better quality than the microphone that's used in the camera, the internal microphone. You can also use what's called a boom mic with your shotgun microphone, so that could be attached to your camcorder, and it's something that I use all the time. The shotgun microphone only records the sound coming in this direction here. So if you're standing here speaking to the microphone, it won't get too much sound from behind the cameras or behind the microphone. So it's called a shotgun mic, best microphone to use for your video productions. Now about lighting, obviously you can use sunlight if you want to, but make sure that it's facing in one direction or one on the side of you. Now, this is the 3-point lighting. It's the classic way of lighting yourself or the person in front of the camera. So this is your camera over here. You have what's called a key light. Your key light is your main light, and it's to about 45 degrees on the side of your face. So it's going to brightly light up this part of your face, which means it will create really dark shadows on the other side of your face. Okay, now to fill this section in, we use a fill light. Now this light is not as strong as your key light. It's a softer light, and it just aims on this side of the face here, and it lifts a little bit of the shadow, but you still have a bit of shadow there. You don't want to get rid of it totally, because if you were using another fill light on both sides, it's going to give you a very flat look. You lose the shadows, which creates the dimension, the 3D dimension, and you look very flat on camera. So you want to try and create that 3-dimension effect, and you get that effect by using shadows. So you have a key light on one side and a filler light on this side. The third light is in the background. It lights the back of you. It lifts you from the background. Again, it creates a 3D effect, because video can be very flattening, and you use lighting just to create the 3-dimensional effect. So you have your background light, your fill light, and then your key light on this side, your camera straight on. Now, also very important, it's called the mise-en-scène. The mise-en-scène is everything you see in your image. Everything you see on camera is your mise-en-scène. Now, this is an example from a film from Citizen Kane, the world-famous Citizen Kane, great movie. And you can see everything in this frame has been chosen for a reason. Nothing has been left to chance. And it just tells a story. It tells a story of the drama that's happening here, and involves the actors, the way they're dressed. You can see the way they're dressed, the time that it's set in. You can see the props are being used. You can see how each person's dressed tells a story about themselves. And in the background here is the key part of the story. This is the young Citizen Kane, what the story is all about. And you see everything has a story. And it's so important when you look at your video, look at your background, just video the background before you step in there, and make sure everything's working towards telling the same story. All right, don't have anything in the background that competes against you. All right, everything has to work together to get your message across to your audience. Okay, so it's called mise-en-scène. I've got a video, I'll give you a link to that. Very interesting, just to make sure everything's working together. A quick look at green screen. If you want to use a green screen, you don't need a huge green screen. This is a screen grab from my video editing. I use Adobe Premiere Pro, and you can see there that's a key light. That's a bright light on my face. I've got a softer light, a filler light on here. You can see here, this is the shotgun microphone that I use. And also like to have these two lights, fluoro lights, that light the green screen separately. And you can see it's not a big green screen, and it doesn't need to be a big green screen. But you've got that in the background. And this is the little clip here that's identified. This is what you see there is this clip here. And then I have a background. And what I do is I use a mat, and I just cut around the object here. which results in this. So I've cut around myself, which reveals the background, which is this part of the, this video here is the background. And now what I'm going to do is key out this green area here. Now when I key it out, you can see right through it. And this is the image you see. And when you watch the video, you see an image like this. And if you dress up and act to the occasion, it just makes it look quite realistic. And of course, this is an animated background. You can use any background you want to create the effect that you want. So that's using the green screen. But I like to use generally a blank screen, so you have nothing that's going to compete with you as main focus.